What's going on, everybody? I'm Tank, and this is another episode of Roadie Reactions. In today's reaction video, I'm going to be checking out a band for the very first time. And even though I've never heard their music before, I've actually been hearing their name a lot lately, and I've heard a lot about their sound. More specifically, that it's kind of all over the place. I've heard that every release they've ever had has kind of had a different influence on their music, and it's slightly different. So, to be honest, I don't really fully know what to expect going into this one today. But this reaction is actually coming at the request of a friend of mine that I used to tour with. And full disclosure for those of you watching, because I always like to be upfront about this, that friend of mine actually manages this band. And it's kind of a cool story. Years ago, he and I toured together, and he was my tour manager on a Nick Jonas tour. Yes, Nick Jonas. And it was great, man. I had a blast on that tour, and we had a great crew. But eventually, like myself, he decided that he wanted to get off the road, be closer to family, and now he just manages bands, and this is one of them. He's actually been asking me to check this band out for a while, and I just had a full schedule and didn't have time, but I finally got around to it, and he knows how I operate. You guys know how I operate, but I reiterated with him and told him, as long as you're cool with the fact that I may say on camera I don't like this band, I'll check it out. And he actually came back and said, honesty is our only policy. And I appreciate that a ton because, believe it or not, actually you probably could believe it, I don't get that much doing reactions. There's actually other management and PR firms that only want us doing these if we say good things and sometimes offer to pay reactors. But we're not going to talk about that now. That's something for another day. Let's just get into this and stay focused on this. Now, today seems like the perfect day to actually finally check out this band because right now while I'm filming is record release day for these guys. Their brand new album, Change of Plans, just came out today, October 22nd, 2021 on Pure Noise Records. Now, if you're already a fan of the band and didn't know, or if this is your first time checking them out, I'll throw a link below where you can go check out the album and stream it or purchase it if you would like to support the band. Now, the other thing about this one is it is featuring vocals from Caleb Shomo of Beartooth, who we recently saw on a We Came as Romans video as well. So this could be super cool all around, man, and I'm ready to have some fun, so let's get into it. I will link this original video in the description below. And today, for the very first time, I'm going to be checking out Can't Swim with the brand new music video for their song, Set the Room Ablaze. Let's go.
Alright, we are underway here in front of a huge sold-out crowd, and right from the start, he has got him exactly where he wants him. Look at the look in his eyes. He's gonna rip his head off. He is giving it everything that he's got. Oh, what a huge body slam! And he is met with a roaring boos from this crowd. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that he does.
I used to do this shit with pillows at my house when I was a kid. I used to listen to WWF on the TV and body slam anything in my house. So I can absolutely relate to this guy.
From this crowd. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that he does. This man has completely lost his mind. He has lost his marbles. He is bonkers. He is insane. He is psychotic. He will do whatever it takes to become your new champ. Oh, and a vicious blow. And the boos from the crowd keep on coming. This crowd is really giving it to him, but I'll tell you what, he is giving it right back to them. Oh my God, what a hit! This has been about as dominant as a performance as I have ever seen in my whole career. Oh, and another huge...
I assume that's the band.
And a running moonsault! And he turns him inside out! He is beating him to a bloody pulp. A right hand, and another right. And he's looking to put him away. And if he connects here, that could be it. It's the final driver. The leg is up. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. It's over. He's done it. He's done it. My God, he's done it. Adios, Theo. We have a new world champion.
I'm going to be fully honest, not what I was expecting. I know I said I didn't know what to expect, but I think in my mind, I was expecting super pop punk. I was expecting like a 4 Year Strong kind of sound out of this, but this has more of an old school. I mean, these guys are from fucking Jersey. It's got that old school East Coast influence to it. There was actually some bands from the Chicago punk scene when I was growing up that kind of sounded like this too. I really dig stuff like this because this sound is very nostalgic for me as a teenager. I loved shit like this. I'm kind of blown away that this is new. Like, these guys have only been a band for like 5 or 6 years or something like that. I love the story elements of this video because not so much anymore now, but I used to be a huge wrestling fan. And I'm pretty sure, I'll have to kind of dive into it when I edit, I'm pretty sure that's an actual indie wrestling federation in the Northeast somewhere. So I'm wondering if the guy with all the tattoos and possibly the janitor from the beginning of the story are actually wrestlers with this indie federation, but I'll check it out. So far, I'm digging it. Gear-wise, I have my thoughts, and it's not much, but we'll get into it later because, I mean, we've already had a minute of story and there's only like 2 minutes left in this song, so it's a pretty quick one. So let's hear some more and then we'll talk about some other stuff in a little bit.
You're full of shit, and I'm the one who's calling it. Smarten up and take a hit. The world will be a better place. Wish you not in it. The room Ablaze. You found yourself in a tricky situation. All this success, every accommodation. But look around, why can't you see? Every friend you ever had, now an enemy. Won't be ignored, can't take it anymore. You're full of shit, and I'm the one who's calling it. Smarten up and take a hit. The world will be a better place. Wish you not in it.
All right, before the ending of this, one of the things I'm enjoying most about this, other than the music, is the sound of it. It's not ultra polished up. It kind of has a raw sound that comes with this kind of punk music. And this album, if I remember right, was produced by Will Putney. And Will Putney is most known for being the guitarist of Fit for an Autopsy, but he is a very well-known producer and has worked with so many fucking people. It's insane, man. So the fact that Will actually produced this is really impressive. I mean, most recently he's also done Knocked Loose and Every Time I Die, and the list is so large that I'd probably fry my brain trying to think about all the people he's worked with right now, so I'll probably just throw a little pop-up down there so you guys know his background. But I love how this is mixed and how everything sounds. Gear-wise, my gut instinct is telling me that most of the instruments, if not everything in this video, are just for this video. Maybe not the drum kit. Maybe that's the drummer's normal kit, but those guitars, no fucking chance. They look like painted over neon Jacksons or Deans or something that they probably just found for this video just to have something that looked cool. Like, I can't see these guys playing those instruments at all times. So assuming that, I don't know what they actually play or if they're endorsed by anybody. I'll have to look it up and check. And drum-wise, I can't really tell. Considering it's a New Jersey band, I could almost take a wild guess that the drummer probably plays SJC drums because they're huge in bands in the scene, like in the Northeast, in the US. But one thing I did want to mention, if you watch this again, or if we see it again, you'll notice that the cymbals on the drum kit are double stacked on each other. There's actually 2 cymbals on each stand. The one on the top is bigger to kind of try and hide the other one, but we've seen the lower camera angles. And why they do that in music videos is to deaden the sound as much as possible. Because when music videos are filmed, they're basically acting. There's playback going on through monitors or something, and they're just acting out the motions of what the actual track is. So, because none of the other guitars or anything like that are plugged in, to try and deaden the drums, they'll double stack cymbals so they mute quicker and they just have more of a tink than like ringing out. And sometimes they'll detune drum heads so they're not super loud and stuff like that too. I bet the snare is turned off on it, so it's not getting a crack. It's just a tiny little ping. But let's finish this off, man. There's probably about a minute left. I'm just going to enjoy this. I don't think there's really anything to break down or anything. Let's see what we get for the rest of it.
And I'm the one who's calling it. up and take a hit. The world would be a better place. Wish you not in it.
I just realized I don't think we've seen Caleb yet.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us. Pack your bags. Holy shit! Wow! Walking around big and tall with the stupid smoke showing up your face when you should be buried in the dark. Even hell wouldn't take you when you're on your knees. Pack it up and leave. I'm not making an apology. You're full of shit, and I'm the one who's calling it. Smarten up and take a hit. The world would be a better place. Wish you not a nickel.
Pick up? Dude. So Caleb wasn't actually in the video, unless I'm an idiot and just missed him. But we got the vocals there. This is the kind of band, again, I'm going back to the New Jersey East Coast thing. I would love to go see this band live, but there's no fucking chance you would see me anywhere near a pit for this band. Even though it's not the heaviest thing in the world, dude, especially in like that breakdown and that bridge and stuff, that is a pit that you would get up in for sure, man. I dug that, man. I'm gonna watch it one more time and listen, and then let's go talk about it. So I legitimately dug that, man. I thought it was really good. And while it's not something that I listen to a ton of nowadays, it's really nostalgic for me, and it just brought up some good vibes. And I'm probably going to go purchase the CD just so I can have it and listen to it, because this is like good cruising in the car music for me, man. I dig this stuff a lot. And speaking of that sound that I was talking about, you know, growing up in the US, especially with certain punk scenes and metal scenes, you can kind of tell a little bit of a difference with the regions, like the regional differences between these bands. If I heard this and I didn't know they were from Jersey, I think my first guess still would have been East Coast, either Jersey or Philly or New York or something like that. If I was wrong on that, my next guess would have been Chicago, because once you start getting west and you get to like the California punk scene, it's a lot different sound. And recently on the channel, I covered the latest video from Ignite. That's a good example of that, man. Bands like Ignite and Pennywise and Bad Religion, they have a vastly different punk sound than what comes from the East Coast. And for me personally, I kind of gravitate more to this East Coast sound, even though I do love both. But that was intriguing enough to check out a lot more from this band, because like I said, I've heard all of the releases can sound a little bit different. So I'm wondering if they're poppier than this at times or heavier than this at times, but we'll find out, man. I'll probably check out the whole album tonight after I get done doing this. So to my buddy that recommended this, thank you very much. To everybody that watched, thank you. And if you would like to support the band, again, I have a link in the description where you can check out the record, and also all of their social medias will be down there too. Go give these guys a follow if you like what you heard, or if you're familiar with them and aren't following them already. So thank you guys again, and if this is your first time here, feel free to click subscribe. I release new videos all the time. Subscribing is free, and it helps my channel out a ton. If you liked this reaction, I would greatly appreciate the like, as it also helps the channel. But if you disliked it, no big deal, man. Thank you very much for your time. You are free to click dislike and move on. I'm also on a ton of different social media. I have a Discord server that a lot of us hang out on often. I have a Twitch where I stream everything from video games to guitar tech work and bass playthroughs and live reactions. So if any of that stuff interests you, I'll throw links in the description below where you can check that stuff out too. My handle on everything social media is @TankTheTech. Thank you so very much for watching. I will be back very soon with another episode of Roadie Reactions.